Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. Why is it so hard to say geeky girls?
You didn't mess up on that. You messed up on podcast. Podcast.
Hiya. Say hello again.
Hello again.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Samara Stash, a bit weird.
And we're glad to have you today, even if we can't talk normally. Today is Wednesday the 24th of February 2016, and my yarn's trying to get stuck in the zipper of my project bag. That's not good. And this is episode 181. Less than 20 episodes till we hit 200. Ooh. We'd like to say a big hiya, welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hello to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, we have some people who joined the Ravelry group and introduced themselves this week. Why don't you give them a shout out?
Mary, who is Mama Meow from Tennessee, and Ashley, who is the Ash Girl from Canada.
Welcome. Thanks for introducing yourselves. So if somebody is not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because we will give you a shout out on our next episode, and you will be able to participate in our cows and giveaways.
That's right. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have a review, we have a giveaway, you're getting another sneak peek of a pattern from my Coffee with Cece book. We have some yummies that came in the post. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. So we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now I'm going to talk about what's on our needles.
That's right. So what is on your needles, Jamie?
This pair of socks still from last week.
But you're making like huge progress on these things.
Yes. This is Cece's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks by, I don't know who it's by. It's the needles are US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, and the yarn is Wet Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply in the Wood Pigeon colorway. These are for a friend of mine.
So you're doing these
birthday.
2 at a time, toe up.
Yep.
So you figured out her measurements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are they like just like yours, or are they a little bit different?
A little bit different.
Okay. Longer or shorter?
Longer.
Okay. So how tall are you thinking you're going to make the socks?
To there.
Okay, so you fold it. So that's how I do mine too, is I fold it and measure it based on the foot length. Although I do mine longer. I do mine to the toe before I do the cuff. So you have probably, what? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more of the thicker stripes.
Yeah.
And then the cuff.
Yeah.
And then you're going to cast on another pair in the exact same color, right?
Yes.
Did you get the measurements for those ones?
No.
Okay, so you need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you're working on?
Nope. So
like potentially hexapuffs?
No. So what's on your needles?
But I want to talk about hexapuffs. When are you planning to get back to hexapuffs?
I don't know.
You have so much hexapuff yarn.
I know.
Maybe you should make just one a week.
I don't know.
She's trying to be monogamous again. You know, I've had her not be for so long because of all the things. But, okay, you wanted to know what I'm working on? I'm working on 3 things. First up is my zigzag blanket, which is a pattern by Frankie Brown. And it is on US 4's 3.5 mil needles. This thing is getting almost too big for this bag. Okay, so since last week, I finished that hand spun row, a stripe. In some places it's really purple. It's hard, the color's not coming out very true. In some places it's really purple, and in some places it's really red, like right there. And then other places it blends really well, but anyway. And then I just started the new stripe last night. You might recognize this yarn. It is Ship's Mechanic Sock, I remember that. 3rd Vault yarn, Ship's Mechanic Sock in the Faster Than Light colorway from Lola that I made socks in. And so I have started that stripe. And that stripe is number, let's count, see how wide this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is stripe 16 that I have just started out of probably 80 stripes. Projected finish date 2019.
Yep.
Yeah. And then second, I'm working on my puntilla sweater, which is by Joji Locatelli. And I'm doing it on US 3s. There's yarn falling out of my bag. 3.25 mil needles and US 5s, 3.75 mil needles. And the yarn is Knitting in France Sparkles in the Something About CC colorway. And Ripples Crafts hand-dyed yarns in the Pequeen colorway. So, I finished the main part of the main sweater, okay? So the body's done, the sleeves are both done. So now I'm doing the lace detail. So I finished it on the first sleeve. So this is a really interesting construction. What you do is, from the wrong side, you pick up stitches between where the stockinette part of the sleeve ends and the cuff, the ribbing for the cuff begins. And then you knit this beautiful lace, which I would like to put something in there so you can actually see, and it needs to be blocked, obviously, but so you have this beautiful lace that's not showing very well. Oh, there. How about that? There we go. And then you bind off using an I-cord bind off, but she does it in such a way that it gives it almost like points. And then you fold the cuff down and you just get this peak of lace coming out of it. So I need to do the exact same thing on the other sleeve, and then what is going to take forever to do is I have to do along the bottom, along the hem, and I have to pick up like 400 zillion stitches or something. So I would love to have this done by next week, but we will have to see. It doesn't want to go back in its bag. It wants to be worked on. So we will just have to see how that goes. I'm going to do the other sleeve first and then start on the bottom. So, and then the third thing I have on the needles is just a pair of vanilla socks from my free CC's Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern on Ravelry. You just have to join my newsletter and you get the coupon code for that. I'm calling these my Hugs and Kisses Luke socks. I'm on US 1.5s, 2.5 mil needles, the Zoom Zoom ones, the 9-inch. And I'm using Holiday Yarns Flock Sock in the Pink Lady colorway and Knitting in France Sparkles in the Gradient Pink colorway. So I finished the foot and I did the heel, so I'm doing contrasting toe, heel, and cuff. And then I've been working on the leg. And let's see where I am if I fold this over. So I will keep going with the Gradient Pink colorway till I reach the end of the toe in length, and then I will change and use the Pink Lady colorway again and do a cuff. I am not sure. I'm going to have to weigh my yarn when I get done. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the other sock exactly like this or flip-flop them and do the Gradient Pink as the toe, heel, and cuff, and the Pink Lady as the main. I'm thinking I probably am going to flip-flop them, but like I said, I'll need to weigh them and see. That is everything that is on my needles, and I'm not planning to put anything else new on the needles other than just my weekly preemie hat until I finish my puntilla sweater. And then I think probably the next thing I'll put on the needles is I probably am going to do the headband from the book we reviewed from Pom Pom Press, Take Heart, the Take Heart book by Fiona Alice that we reviewed a few podcasts ago. I'm actually thinking about making 2 of them, so we will see how that comes out. All right, well, I think that's everything on our needles, which means I have some FOs to show you. You might have noticed that I'm wearing one of them. So let's move on to that segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
So first up is my weekly preemie hat. This is number 8 for the year. This is my top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. I'm on US 6's 4 mil needles, and the yarn is Woolcraft New Fashion Double Knitting in the Glacia colorway. And then there's this chocolate brown, which is hand spun that I did. I don't know what the fiber is. It was like in a giveaway thing. But I have to tell you, this is probably the best pom-pom I have ever made. It turned out so wonderfully, and it's so squishy soft. She doesn't want me to put it on her face. No. It's so soft. And I did a little bit different with this hat. I kept knitting in stockinette until it got, so it could be worn like that, but probably for a bigger baby's head if I do that. So I kept knitting, and then I did the ribbing, and then I just folded up the ribbing just to give it a little different look. Actually, honestly, the reason I did that is because for winter camp, for a project to count, it has to be at least 10 grams or more, not including the pom-pom. So that's why it's longer, because I had to keep knitting, because I don't know, my brain was not working, and I did a smaller size than I had intended. I had intended to do a bigger size to help use up yarn. So, yep, so there's number 8. And then the other thing is my Spectrum shawl, which is another pattern by Joji Locatelli. It's on US 6's 4mm needles, and I used Bluebonnet fibers in the Sushi Yarn Along colorway, and Ginger's hand-dyed Bleeding Velvet 4-ply in the Dove colorway. So here I'm wearing it. Let me take it off and show you. I love how it turned out. So you can see I started with the hand spun. It's a gradient. And then I slowly added in the Dove from Jess. And it's got a really, really unique shape to it. I really loved how it turned out. I thought I was going to have to pen it, but I didn't end up. Why are you making faces? You look scared. I thought I was going to have to pin it out, but after I soaked it, it just really relaxed, and so I was able just to lay it out. And I love it. I love it. So you could wear it kind of like a cowl almost. You could tie it and have it be like a long cowl. What are you doing? Or you could do it like a scarf. Or you can do it like how I am wearing it. I'm gonna have to play with it and make it lay. There we go. Like that, like a shawl. I have a lot of, well, actually, this ended up being something like 570 yards of yarn. It was a lot of yarn. But I had a lot of the hand spun left. You can see it, it's right up there. So that's actually one of the yarns I'm thinking of doing the headband in, is that. And the other one is over above your head. Oh, all the way at the top up there. It's Rainbow Heirloom Sweater in perfect pink colorway. So yeah, I love the shawl. It was a lot of fun to make. It wasn't super difficult. She had to use a lot of stitch markers to denote sections, and it's pretty much garter stitch, but with increases and decreases to give it the fun. It's not really zigzag, but kind of unusual shape. So I enjoyed knitting it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to wear it. I already wore it out today, so yay. And that's everything I finished. We have some yummies to talk about, so we should move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, yummies. What are yummies, Mare?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So first up, I got some yarn in the post, but I didn't buy it, so I did not break my yarn diet. It was actually a prize that I won from, isn't this card cute? Pink hot air balloons. It's a prize I won from participating in the Fiber and Dice Instagram contest that Rebecca, Engineer's Falcon, Bluebonnet Fibers, hosted via her podcast, Fiber and Dice. She's the one that did the handspun from this shawl. So she showed me some pictures of different braids of fiber she had, and I chose one. This is, I am not sure who the dyer is. The colorway is Punk Mohawk. It's merino wool. It's a 2-ply, 271 yards to 111 grams. How fun is that with the purples and the pinks and the grays and the charcoal black?
Can I see it?
Why am I wearing it on my head? Oh, because it's a Mohawk. My Mohawk is falling over. I get you now. I get you. So, there's punk Mohawk. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to knit with it. But it's lovely. I'm probably a shawl of some sort. I'll have to check my queue. So, yeah, I love this. Rebecca always does amazing. Here's her card. So you should check out her shop. She's on Etsy as Bluebonnet Fibers. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, thank you so much, Rebecca. It was a joy to get that in the post. Next up, Jenny, who is Jinsta79. Is that how you would say that? She is Owl, like the animal, O-W-L, Owl About Yarn on Etsy. And she had sent me a message and asked if she could send some items she had knit for charity up to us to
Made for charity.
Oh yes, made. Sorry, that she had made for charity, up to us to donate with when we do a donation to Knit for Peace. So of course I said yes, and so she sent 4 things. First up is this blanket. Oops, sorry, I'm dropping it. I'm going to hand that to you to let you fold that back up. And then this one is the same pattern but different colors. I love this one because it's got pinks in it. So it's nice and lovely. And then a pair of fingerless gloves. They're fabulous. I would like to put them on. Ooh, how pretty is that? That's really nice. I might have to find out what pattern that is. And then these are my favorite, I think, of the whole set that she sent. Mittens, but they have beads on them. How cute is that? And if that was not enough, she also sent Dammy and I some stitch minders that she had made. And she says that she tried to tap into a geeky girly theme for them. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's see, are they all? So, there is a book, there's an owl, there's the TARDIS, there's a Dalek, and there's the geeky glasses. There she is on Etsy, Owl About Yarn. These are just adorable. So these are used to mark your progress in a project. So, thank you so much, Jenny. Oh, love it, love it, love it. I can't wait to use the markers, and I know that Knit for Peace will appreciate the lovely items that you crafted. I'm going to put those over there with that. Sorry. Things are like going crazy. Did you have anything for Yummies?
No.
We went on a play date this morning. So we're recording later than normal. My bestie Katie texted me and said, I'm taking the boys to this cafe, and it's a play cafe for young children. And she said, do you want to meet us? And it ends up, it's like in the park across the street from our house. We didn't even know it was there. So we went and met them and played with the boys and chatted. And so we're running about an hour and a half behind. But that's okay, because it was fun. We had a good time. Okay. Thank you a million, zillion, gazillion, infinity times to everybody who has had such sweet things to say about my book. Coffee with Cece, a 7-pattern caffeine-inspired knitting collection. So, why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm smiling at you.
It touched my heart because it's so sweet. People are being so kind. So, I approved the proofs yesterday. Which means it's now with the printer being printed. Which is good. And so now I'm having to do all this stuff that still needs to be done before it's released. But I needed to get the book to the printer first. So, you can still pre-order it at
JavaPearlDesigns.com.
That's right. If you want the physical book, which comes with a free ebook code, and you can also still pre-order the coffee project bag by Sam of Knit Run Dig. It's this size and style. The deadline to pre-order the bag, I believe, is like about a week and a half out. Well, I say that to pre-order the bag in order for us to ship it before Edinburgh Yarn Festival. If you're just pre-ordering the book, there's a little bit longer deadline because obviously Sam needs time to sew the bags and get them to me. If you want to pre-order the ebook only, you can do it on Ravelry, but all the links are at my website. So, last week I showed you the coffee date shawl. Are you ready for another sneak peek? I am going to show you the peppermint mocha sock pattern, which is using yarn from Julia of Pandia's Jewels. It's her snug base, and the colorway is peppermint mocha. This pattern is both toe up and cuff down. Is that right? Oh, now I'm questioning myself. I'm 99% certain it is. It's definitely toe up, and I'm fairly certain it's also cuff down. Yeah, so you ready to see it? So I was inspired by peppermint sticks. So it is a pattern using slip stitches that spiral around the sock. How fun is that? So that's the peppermint mocha sock. What do you think, Demi?
I made it.
I know. Was it difficult to make?
No.
So it was. I think it's rated as a 2 cups of coffee out of 5 pattern because it is just it's knitting and slip stitches to make the design. And I had some testers knit it in solid, and it's really pretty with that too. I'm trying to remember if anybody did it on self-striping. I don't think they did, but I would be really intrigued to see what it would look like on self-striping. That could be pretty cool. So, peppermint mocha socks. Yeah, so that will be coming in the book. And I'll have another sneak peek for you next week. All right, what else? Oh, just a really quick Whole30 check-in. I'm on day 9. I'm doing well. I was really craving chocolate, dark chocolate, but I made it through. Nuts are my friend. Cashews and almonds. And I'm beginning to be okay with my coffee with coconut milk. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me.
That you needed to move the mouse.
Oh, sorry. I was confused. I also started a thread in the Ravelry group for Whole30. If anybody is interested in doing it. There's been a few people with questions about it. So, yeah. So, I'm past the mega sugar craving stage. At least I hope it doesn't come back. So, that's a quick Whole30 update. Alright, is that everything? Alright, so let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of prompts for each month. So you take a picture related to that prompt and post it anywhere you like. We pick our favorites from Instagram.
And just a little bit ago, just before we started filming, we released the March list. Mm-hmm. And it is colors. Other than 2 days, which we're gonna tell you about in just a couple of minutes. So, yeah. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
So here come the photos. So those were our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. So it's never too late to participate. Just take a look at the prompt for the day. Today is W, because we're doing alphabet soup this month. So take a picture related to the prompt, post it on Instagram. Make sure you hashtag it with hashtag #GGKCraftyPad, and yours might get chosen. All right, so let's talk about upcoming events.
Edinburgh Yarn Festival here in Edinburgh on the 18th and 19th of March.
Sorry, I'm updating a thing on our show notes that I thought I had already updated, but I didn't. Okay, now it's fixed. So yes, so I will be vending again there with Sam from Knit Run Dig Project Bags, and we will be participating in the podcast lounge.
Yeah.
Hosted by the lovely Louise of Knit British. So we just released a few minutes ago the special GGK Crafty Pad prompt for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And it is going to be, we're going to do one prompt for the 2 days, and the prompt is going to be crafty selfie. So that, in case you don't know what that is, and I wrote about it in the blog post that is on our website.
GeekyGirlsKnit.com.
Yeah. So a crafty selfie is a picture of you, either by yourself or with others, showing us doing something crafty. So maybe you are showing us something you recently finished knitting. Maybe you are taking a break from the shopping and knitting. Maybe you bought some scrumptious yarn and you want to show us. So there's going to be, so in order to qualify for the prizes, at this point there's 3 prizes. But I'm not going to tell you what they are, because they're secret. But they're amazing. So what you need to do is take your picture. You need to hashtag it with hashtag GGK, Geeky Girls Knit, EYF, Edinburgh Yarn Festival, 16 for the year. Crafty selfie. So hashtag GGK, EYF, 16, crafty selfie. And then also please hashtag it with hashtag GGK Crafty Pad and hashtag EYF 2016. And you can post more than one photo that is a crafty selfie. So you can enter multiple times. And after Edinburgh Yarn Festival is over, we will do a random number generator and choose 3 winners and contact them. How you will be contacted is I will comment on your Instagram post if you are one of the winners, and then you will need to contact me on Ravelry so that I can take care of doing your prizes. Okay. And just a reminder that we are still working on the Geeky Puffin Knitpalooza for this year. Sam is actually visiting the hotel again tomorrow and having a meeting with our contact there. And hopefully then we'll be able to sign that contract so that we can then do our contracts with our teachers so we can announce it to you. So we're still working on all that. If you want to be first updated of when we do announce things, there's a link in the show notes to join the newsletter list for the retreat. Yes. We can tell you it will be in late 2016 near London. All right. Well, that was everything for Yummies, so we probably should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we're reading and watching.
Yes. So why don't you start? You have been reading a lot.
Yes. I started and finished reading Washington Spies by Alexander Rose.
Okay, you want to say anything about it?
It was very interesting. It's about the...
Really? That's so interesting.
Yes, it's about the use of espionage during the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
Yes. So it was very interesting. I highlighted a lot of stuff in it. Yes.
All right, and then so you started another book too.
Yes, Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. I'm pretty sure it's Chernow.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yes.
You want to tell them that?
Sure. Alexander Hamilton.
No, that's not what I want you to tell them.
We are waiting in the wings for you.
I didn't. That's not what I want you to tell them.
What?
I want you to tell them that it was the inspiration for the hit Broadway musical.
Oh,
Hamilton.
You saw that in the description for it.
Yes, I did, because I was linking it in the show notes, and the very top thing in the Amazon thing now is the inspiration for the best hit Broadway musical Hamilton, whatever it is. Anyway.
I've only read through the introduction and part of chapter 1.
Okay.
So.
And do you find yourself singing already?
No.
Oh, come on. You should sing along as you come to those parts.
I haven't reached any of those parts.
Hercules Mulligan. See, that's what you
No.
You have to sing that one. And Lafayette. Those are my favorite ones.
Oh, Washington Spies mentioned Hercules Mulligan. Well, I say mentioned. They had, like, this whole section on him.
And did you go, Hercules Mulligan?
No. I was actually wondering why the book didn't mention Cato, who was Hercules Mulligan's slave and actually did more spying than Mulligan.
Oh, really?
Where is it at?
Don't know. You should contact Alexander Rose and ask.
Oh, God.
Okay. Are you reading anything else?
No.
Okay. I'm still reading nonfiction-wise, A Travelogue of the Interior, Finding Your Voice in God's Heart in the Psalms by Karen... I can never say this name.
Dabajian.
There you go. This one is taking me longer than a normal nonfiction would be because there is a lot of journaling and such with it. And so, yeah. You have to, like, stop and do this journaling and stuff before you can move on to the next part. So, fiction-wise, I'm not going to tell you everything fiction-wise I've read this week. I have been reading a lot of free or inexpensive mysteries from Amazon, and some of them are not even worth the free price. Some of them have been interesting. So here's the ones I want to mention. The Third Girl, which is the first book in the Molly Sutton Mysteries series by Nell Godden. It is set in France, in a small town in France, and it was really interesting. I enjoyed that one. I'm hoping that the next books in the series will go down in price a little bit. And then I read Daisy McDare and the Deadly Real Estate Affair by K.M. Morgan, and I enjoyed that one. It was like book number 4 in the series, so I'm hoping that the rest of them will go on sale. And then the Twisted Cedars Mystery Series by C.J. Carmichael. So I read book 1, Buried, and book 2, Forgotten. And the third book in the series comes out tomorrow. I've already pre-ordered it because it's been cliffhangers. So it's about a fiction writer. No, not a fiction writer. A true crime writer, novel writer, who comes back home to a small town to try to find out and write a book about 4 librarians who were murdered like 30 years prior. He's been getting secret emails, or anonymous emails, about this serial killer that it wasn't connected in the 70s. They didn't realize it was a serial killer because it was in different towns. So it's been really interesting. I'm enjoying that. So I'm ready for the next one to come out tomorrow. And then the Mercy Watts Mystery Series by A.W. Hartwine. I read, so she had a novella which is called Cope with a Twist. And then I read book 1, A Good Man Gone. That's the one I started with. And then I went back and read the short. And I just finished book 2 last night, Diver Down. And I've started book 3, Double Black Diamond. It's kind of funny. She's a nurse. And she and her mother both look like Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
They haven't done anything to make... That's just how they look. And
are they related to her?
No, not that I know of. Or if they've mentioned it, I don't remember. But anyway, her father is a retired police officer who is a private investigator now, and he constantly guilts her into helping him with the cases.
That's nice.
But she's a really good investigator, and she's like solving mysteries. So I'm enjoying it. But then there's also the thing of people keep stopping her and her mother, and we're like, you look just like Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. So all that plays into the stories. So that is what I have been reading that I'm willing to tell you that I've read. So, all right, let's talk. Well, we watched one movie this week because you finished the book.
Yes, we watched the 2011 version of Jane Eyre.
Which was a BBC film. I have to say, it had been so long since I read Jane Eyre that I had forgotten really what happened. In the book, did they do it as kind of a...
No, it was in chronological order.
So the movie is not in chronological order. It's like a flashback thing. And the way they started it, I was like, what the crap is this? I have no clue what's going on. What in the world are they talking about? And then as it went on, I was like, okay, I remember now. But I was like, I have no clue what is going on here. So, what did you think of it?
I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So, yeah, it was pretty good. So, all right, and then TV. You want to start?
We're rewatching season 4 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and season 2 of Star Trek Voyager.
Tuvix.
Yes.
That was lovely.
It was lovely.
It was heartbreaking. It was so fun for them to be together. Oh gosh. I like that episode. We are almost done with these seasons though.
Oh.
I think we have 1 in Voyager and maybe 2 in Deep Space Nine, and we'll be done with these seasons.
Oh yeah.
So, we still have a lot to watch. I think we still have over 200 episodes to watch combined of the 2 shows. So, I am watching Parenthood season 3 and enjoying that. The Hubs and I started watching Roswell season 1.
What do you think of it?
It's so ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous because I grew up living only about an hour and a half-ish away from Roswell. Is that right? About an hour and a half-ish?
Yeah.
Away from Roswell. So if you have no idea in the world what Roswell is about, Roswell is the home of the 1940-something supposed alien crash. And then the whole Area 51 stuff of them stealing the spaceship and all this. So
the Area 51 is in Nevada.
It
not
is.
New Mexico.
Not in New Mexico. But so the premise of this story is there are 3 aliens who are teenagers but they don't really remember anything, like their parents died and such in the crash. But they were like in stasis and only came out like in it would have been
80s.
Late 80s, early 90s? Because this is in 99 and they're in high school, so early 90s. When they were like, I don't know, 8 or something. But this other girl, high school girl, finds out about them because she is a waitress at the Crashdown Cafe, which has a whole, flying saucer. So she's accidentally shot, and one of the aliens saves her life. And, but the sheriff is very suspicious and thinks his father was ruined in his career because he believed in the aliens and everything. And so now he's trying to prove his father was really right. And so this whole journey of them also, the aliens trying to figure out who they are. I think it's got 3 seasons, and from what I've seen some episodes of it, it premiered a week before you were born.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't watch all of it. I was kind of busy, probably. But I know I've seen some episodes, and then I can't remember who told me I should watch the whole thing. Probably, if I had to hedge a guess, it would be Jasmine from the Knit More Girls podcast. But from what I've read, the first season, which we're watching now, has a lot of the teenage angst and such stuff. But then season 2 and 3 are more sci-fi. Season.
It sounded like you said Susan 2 and 3.
Season 2 and 3 are more the sci-fi. So we'll see. So yeah, we've started watching that. So.
It's my turn.
It's your turn while I drink some water.
Okay, Marvel's Agent Carter. We're watching season 2. There were 2 episodes last night.
And there's 2 episodes on.
Tonight. Well, they were already on, but we're going to watch them tonight. And then there's one more?
Mm-hmm.
One more.
Hollywood ending.
Okay, so 3 things. Dottie is free. Ooh, buddy. Jason got kidnapped. And Anna got shot. She better be okay.
I know.
I love her lots.
That's Jarvis's wife.
Yeah.
In case people don't know who that is. So yeah, so we have 2 episodes to watch from last night, and then there'll be 1 more next week.
Where is Angie?
We still haven't seen her.
She's in this season sometime, I know.
Maybe she'll be there tonight. We shall see. You want to talk about the other one too?
You root for that though.
Yeah, it's fine, but I'll talk about some of the next stuff. So
we're watching season 8 of Castle.
What was there?
Russian spies.
And they're still keeping them being back together a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And his stepmom was there, Castle's stepmom. And then we're watching season 13 of NCIS. There was explosions, and I was very worried for Gibbs and McGee.
She gets very, very into NCIS. It's very...
I was like, what? What is going on? And then, of course, after the commercial break, they were fine. Just, some stitches and... But we also found out about McGee's first kiss. It was kind of cute. And then the Hubs and I are watching season 2 of NCIS New Orleans. There was a mention of... what is his name? The guy who Serial season 2 is about, the Serial podcast. It's a B. Both of his names begin with a B.
I don't know.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Why don't you just Google cereal?
What kind of cereal?
Murder.
Okay, any time now you can give us Bo Bergdahl. That's his name. Bo Bergdahl. So there was a mention of him related to the case. It was had some similarities to the case they were working on. Rizzoli and Isle season 6 is back for the second half of its season. And they also have announced that season 7 will be the last one. And I think if I remember right, it's just going to be a half. It's not going to be the whole 20 whatever. I think it's going to be 13-ish or so. So, they saved Mara from her kidnapping. But who is behind all this stuff to hurt Jane? I think this is going to be the rest of the season is going to be dealing with all that. I'm watching Supernatural season 11, and Sam and Dean found out about Lustiel, which is Lucifer in Castiel. And then Dean traveled back in time to get the hand of God off the submarine, but it was used up making a way for him to travel back to the present.
Okay.
Because they were going to use the hand of God to deal with the darkness, but now they can't because the hand of God got used up to save Dean.
Doesn't God have another hand?
There was only one. It was from the Ark of the Covenant. It was a piece broken off. But that's how they found out that Lustiel is Lustiel, because there was the lady who was in charge of the Hand of God. She was a part of the Men of Letters, and she had drawn why can't I think of the word, on the submarine to keep
cross.
No, it's not a cross. But like an image in blood, to keep any demons from getting the Hand of God, and because Lustiel is the devil, he could not get through the submarine walls, and so he ended up in the middle of the ocean in 19 whatever it was.
Is he still there?
No, he came back.
Okay.
But then he couldn't get to Dean to bring him back. Yeah. So Lustiel is now known. You want to talk about the next couple ones? Because I need some more water.
We're watching season 3 of The Blacklist.
She wants to keep the baby now. We'll see what happens.
And you wrote for this one too. We're watching season 4 of Elementary. You have to give context for it first.
No, I think I should just tell them and then give them the context. So Sherlock says, "Imagine me with a huge Moriarty across my stomach." So now here's the context. The case was about a woman with a whole lot of tattoos, and they were discussing. Sherlock was discussing tattoos with Joan, and then he said, "Imagine me with a huge Moriarty across my stomach." It was so funny. I had to rewind it and type it because it was so funny. And then Joan said something about, no, it would have been Irene. Sorry. So, we are watching season 1 of Colony, and there is still no aliens. No aliens. Where are the aliens? I want to believe. But I have not seen the aliens yet. The Big Bang Theory, the Hubs and I are watching season 9, and Bernadette told Howard that they're having a baby, and they told the guys, and she told the girls, and then they all ended up at a karaoke bar singing songs about baby to Bernadette's stomach. It was really funny.
Okay.
It was really funny. Grimm. Oh my gosh, we've caught up with season 5. We're caught up. So there is a new Grimm trailer. So, back in the beginning of early part of season 1, when his aunt came, she brought this trailer that was full of Grimm stuff. Well, when Juliet was turning Hexenbeastie and all bad, she burned the trailer and almost everything in it was destroyed. Well, then Monroe's uncle, who was a expert on books and collected books and was like this really, he got called in a lot of times to appraise stuff. Well, this lady called him, she was trying to deal with, somebody had passed away, and she found this trunk of books. And he went to look at them, and it was Grimm notebooks. It was Grimm journals. Grimm books. And so he called Monroe, because Monroe's mom had told him that Monroe was friends with a Grimm. A good Grimm, not a bad Grimm. And thought that he might want them. And so, but then the bad Vessen, I can't remember what the name of their group is. Something with black in it. Were trying to get the Grimm books. And then they finally, Nick got the trunk with the Grimm books. And then underneath there was like 20 Grimm books. And then underneath it was all these weapons and stuff. So he's got a new Grimm trailer in the basement of Rosalie's shop. And they also found 3 more of the 7 keys. And so now they have 5 of the keys.
What are the keys for?
The keys, they unfold and you if you put them in an ink pad and press out the 4 different sides of the keys, and then you put all 7 keys together, it's a map to this treasure dealing with the Vesson and Grimms and all this stuff. It's a really old treasure. And so it was because it was really powerful, and so originally it was buried, and then there was 7 keys made and given to the different groups, but now Nick has 5 of them. And they're going to the Black Forest because they have determined with what they have of the 5 of the 7 keys that it's in the Black Forest. And they're hoping it can help them beat this bad Vesson group. And now you are caught up. And sadly, there's not a new episode this week.
Okay.
I love marathoning things, but the thing I hate is when it's still on the air and then I get caught up and then I'm like, but I need to know now. We're watching Series 5 of Call the Midwife. It made me cry. You're up next.
We're watching Season 1 of Supergirl.
How do you say that new girl's name?
Siobhan Smythe. I'm pretty sure she is an actual comics character.
Really?
I just can't remember what she does.
So Kat hired her to be her number 1 assistant, and Kara has gotten demoted to number 2 assistant. And she let Supergirl let what's his name go?
Maxwell Lord.
Yes, because
Lord.
Because camera guy.
James.
Yeah, James takes pictures.
Camera guy. Why are you clicking twice? You only need to click 1 button.
I have 2 cameras.
Whoa, that's intense. I don't even think James Wilson could do that.
Oh, now it should be for iPhone. Because he told her how he felt. Smile! Because he told her how he felt about them keeping a human in captivity. The Hubs and I are watching season 7 of NCIS LA. What are you doing?
It needs to go away. We already talked about it.
No, that's the one that was on last night that we haven't watched, or Monday night that we haven't watched yet.
Oh.
But it's normally only in the list once, and I'm not sure why it's there twice. But we weren't going to talk about it anyway because it's not highlighted, because we haven't watched it yet. We have this whole system to our show notes, color coding and everything. What am I talking about? NCIS LA, season 7. So, apparently we've now met Callan's father, but I thought Callan's father was dead, but I'm very lost. In Russia. They were in Russia. Because we got done watching it, and I turned to the Hubs and I was like, are they implying that that's Callan's father? And he was like, I think that's what they're saying. It was all very kind of vague, but like, what? So, and then the Hubs and I are watching season 9 of Murdoch Mysteries. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Crying my eyes out.
Why?
You were going to drama last night. Crying my eyes out. Okay, so you know a few episodes ago where there was the husband and wife that robbed the bank and they both were killed, and then Murdoch and Dr. Ogden adopted baby Roland?
Yes.
Well, they did a more in-depth autopsy on the wife and determined that she wasn't born with all of her reproductive organs, so she could not have given birth to baby Roland. So then Julia's like, oh my gosh, so how did they get the baby? What happened? So she hired a private investigator and determined that the mother who was pregnant with baby Roland was in distress and a midwife came to help her, and the midwife turns out to be the bank robber lady. And the mother died in childbirth, and the midwife told everyone that the baby died, but she and her husband really stole the baby. And so the husband was away at work or whatever, he worked far away from home or something. And so when he came back, he just believed that that's what had happened. And so once Julia found out, she told Murdoch, and he felt like they couldn't just keep baby Roland without talking to the father, and went to talk to the father, and he wanted Roland, and so they don't have baby Roland anymore. And Julia so I cried a whole lot. It was very sad. Very sad. And that's all the TV. Why did we not end on a happy note? Because now I'm kind of sad. And we need to talk about a cow.
Okay.
Can you make the cow happy?
Sure.
Okay, let's see what she does.
Oh boy! And now it's time to talk about the December, January, February Winter Wonderland cow and Charity cow. Are you ready? You told me to make it happy.
Okay.
You're smiling, aren't you?
You're ridiculous.
You told me to make it happy.
Okay, should I tell them about what this is about?
Sure.
Since they only have 5 days left. So this started on December the 1st, and it ends on the 29th of February. Leap day.
I can't do that.
You do 9.
What? 9.
29. So it's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to winter. I'm not going to let you have you give the spiel. They probably know by now. But it's also a charity cow. So if you do something, if you knit, crochet, or weave something that you are donating to charity, you get to post it in the FO thread twice. Read the second post. It tells you how to do it. No whips are allowed. It has to be December 1st or later, and finish it by the 29th of February. Double dip in other cows. That's totally fine. We have lots of lovely prizes that we'll be awarding next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 29th is a Monday?
I think so.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, Monday. And we record on Wednesday. So we will be announcing prize winners. But just in case, here they are on the screen if you'd like to see them. And if you go to the show notes,
GeekyGirlsKnit.com.
that's right, you can see pictures and read all about them. Thank you so much to our sponsors for providing lovely, lovely prizes. And we will show you everything next week when we award the winners. You can donate to any charity you would like to, or if you don't have one, you can send them to us, and we will donate them the stuff to Knit for Peace, except for the Preemie hats, so that'll be donated to Preemie's UK. You have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry. We'll close the thread Tuesday, March the 1st. So when I get up on March the 1st, I will lock the thread. So make sure and get your stuff posted. If you are one of the winners, you'll have 30 days to claim your prize, or you forfeit it. There is a chatter thread that has been pretty active recently. And why don't you let us know who finished projects this week?
A1 Darwin times 2, Adabar times 2, A Hole in Knitting times 2, Allison Roseboom times 2, Andy, Army Tink 08, A Runner Bean times 5, Baby Boxer Mom, Bindi J, Blue Flame 0, C Howard 06, CJ Bullion, DG White, Eileen D times 3, Eleanor Gamgee times 2, Falling Star 12 times 2, Gracieless, Hazy Summers, Julie R Knits, Caden H 13 times 2, Kana Soup times 2, Karenina 4777, Knitster Monica, Knitter Joe 2, Little Angel SG 2 times 2, Elizabeth Dawn times 2, Lizzie C, Elle McCall times 2, Mama Bug 89, Mantha Mac times 3, Muzzer Z times 10, Mystery Sewer, MV Knits, Nikki Hippie, Penny 05, Penny Gale times 2, Phoenix Fire times 2, Piper's Mom, Rainbow Ange, VVFB times 4, and Vegan Jilly times 3.
Great job, everybody. I know what I just realized as you were saying that.
What?
We should be announcing the spring cow.
Oh.
What do we call the spring cow? Something with an S. I'm sure. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Go to Ravelry. So, our spring cow will be just our traditional seasonal cows. And it is for anything that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to spring. Whether that's by color, pattern, use, etc.
Sheep.
The sheepy spring cow, that's right. So that will start March 1st and end the last day of May. Same rules as for the winter, no whips. You have to finish it within the time thing. You have to be a member of the group, etc. We will officially post that info for next week's podcast. I'll open the threads on March 1st. But this is just a regular seasonal cow. It's not the charity cow. So each project will only be worth one entry. And we already have some prizes. So we will let you know about those next week. All right, well, we should move on to the next segment because we still have quite a few things to talk to y'all about. All right, let's go.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
That's right. So what is this week's question, Amy?
This week's question comes from Mandy, who is Notosaurus from Florida. You ladies are both sci-fi and comic hero fans. What about horror, vampires, zombies, etc.?
Okay, do you want to start or do you want me to?
You.
The most horror that I can deal with is supernatural. And even still sometimes I'm like, tell me when it's over. I don't like horror movies. I don't like horror books. I do enjoy vampires and zombie. Well, more vampires than zombie. I've read quite a few book series that have vampires in them, and some that have zombies. So, I don't consider that horror. Although I see where she's going because, what's the name of that show that has all the zombies on it?
Walking Dead.
Yeah, that is definitely horror. I tried to watch that. I didn't. I kept having to hide my face. So, I don't know. I didn't watch all of it. Why don't you talk about this stuff?
I like vampires too. I like Buffy and Angel.
Oh yes, definitely.
And I kind of like zombies. When I was in like 5th grade, 6th grade, I read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and the movie for that has just come out. So
I haven't read that.
I'm kind of interested to read it.
To watch it, you mean?
Watch it. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So maybe I should see about getting a copy of it and read it, and then we could watch it after it comes out on...
I think the same publication company for the book also did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I know there's a movie of that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And there's more. I just can't remember what they are.
Yeah. So maybe I should read that, and then we can watch the movie after it.
The cover is kind of freaky, though.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, of the book.
The cover of the movie.
The cover of the movie.
Okay, do you have anything else to say about horror, vampire, zombies?
No.
Werewolves? I like werewolves. I've read several books that have werewolves. I can't think of the names of any of them. Like, I can remember events that happened in the books, but I'm like, I can't remember the name of that book series. Usually that's what I typically read, book series. So, well, thank you so much, Mandy, for this intriguing question. I don't think we've talked about that on the podcast before. If somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
That's right. And we typically just go in order as they come in unless it's a time-sensitive one. And I don't think there hasn't been any that we've said, no, we won't answer that. So we're pretty willing to answer most anything. All right, well, we have a review for y'all, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for a review.
And we have a very special review. I found out about this adorable book from Catherine Limer, who was one of our teachers for the Geeky Puff Knitpalooza 2015. Because the author of the book is her sister. How cool is that? So this book just came out, and full disclosure, Elizabeth sent it to us to review. This book it's a children's book called Hectricity and the Missing Socks. And it's by Elizabeth Limer, and the illustrator is Azra Momin. And it's got the most adorable illustrations. Do you see the kitty? I'm not going to read the book to you, but I am going to show you some of my favorite illustrations. How fun is that? Like, I feel like this needs to be my wallpaper on my computer. Maybe I could scan it. I love that. So the premise of the book is socks keep ending up missing. And it is, let me see, Hectricity who is stealing them all. Let's see. Oh, let's see, the cat is like watching them look for the socks. Oh, there's the kitty trying to put on a sock. And let's see what else. Let's see, they're lining up the socks. Oh no, there's socks everywhere. And then the mummy goes to a knit shop. Or no, to a special shop. And buys new socks for all of them. New special socks. And the lady at the shop tells her that the monster is Hectricity, who is stealing all the socks. And Catherine, who was the teacher at Geeky Puff Knitpalooza, wrote a pattern that's included in the book called, how would you say it, Leela's? Mm-hmm. Leela's Rainbow Socks. And so the pattern for that is in the book. It is adorable. I love that illustration. So, I think it is very well done. It is adorable. I read it to Dammy and the Hubs when it came because it's so cute. One thing I will say, and Elizabeth and I actually talked about this in our email conversation. Elizabeth is Muslim, and some of the stuff that she writes in the book is about Allah. And she said to me in the email, I know that you are of Christian faith, and she said feel free to, when you read it, to substitute God for Allah. She said that's what I do when I'm reading a book to my kids, and it says God, I substitute Allah. And I thought that was really, really very kind and open of her to talk about that with me. So I thought that was really cool. So this is Hectricity and the Missing Socks. It's adorable. I love it. I would highly recommend it. It's available on Amazon. I cannot remember what the price was. I want to say under £10. So, what did you think of it? I have just been talking about it.
Yeah, I think it's very cute.
Very, very cute. In fact, we're going to give it to our friends, Katie and Jeremy, for their two boys, Noah and Izzy. Mm-hmm. And I think they will really enjoy it. It's so cute. Yeah. So cute. And the illustrations just make it. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you so much to Elizabeth for sending that to us. There's a link in the show notes if you would like to get your own copy of Hectricity and the Missing Socks. You should. It's really adorable. For the kiddo in your life. Or for the kid at heart. Because we loved it too. Alright, well we have a giveaway, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now we have a giveaway.
That's right. The lovely Holly, who is Lupin Owns Jacob on Ravelry, has just released a new shawl pattern called Chelsea Beach. And there's a picture, actually I'll put a picture of it on the screen. Help me remember to do that. I should highlight it so that I don't forget to do that because my brain sometimes just goes, what? So, this is the Chelsea Beach shawl. It is, it's available in 3 different sizes. You can do it in 3 different weights of yarn. So you can do the DK version, which takes 530 yards of yarn, or the fingering weight version, which takes 600 yards, or the lace version, which takes 766 yards. If you're doing the fingering or lace version, you're going to use a US 6 4mm needles. If you're doing the DK, you use US 8 5mm needles. The shawl was inspired by the waves rolling towards and subsequently crashing onto the shore on Holly's favorite beach here in Victoria called Chelsea Beach. And it is lovely. I love the ruffly texture and how the ends do. It's so beautiful. Holly has designed quite a few patterns, and she's just amazing. So I really, really love it. So she has generously offered to give a copy of the pattern to one viewer. So what we're going to do to enter is you need to go to the page on Ravelry for the Chelsea Beach shawl so that you can look at the different weights and yardage requirements. And then we want you to decide which weight yarn you would knit it in and what yarn you would use. And then come back to our Ravelry group to the thread for the giveaway and tell us which weight shawl you would knit and what yarn you would use for it. This doesn't lock you in. You're getting the pattern that has everything. But we're curious as to how you would like to knit it. So do that, and we will keep this open we'll keep it open for 2 weeks until we record episode 183. And then we will close the thread and draw for a winner. So thank you so much to Holly for donating that. She also gave us a copy of the pattern very kindly. So thank you so much, Holly, and we hope that you will like the pattern and want to try to win it. Mm-hmm. You must be a member of our Ravelry group to enter. I didn't say that. Is that everything about it? All right, let's move on to the next segment. We made it to the end of the show. Yep. That was a long one. We had a lot to talk about. So just a few reminders. The 52 Weeks of Charity Cal is continuing through 2016. All the details are in the Ravelry group, and we also give you all the details on the second podcast of every month. So keep working on those. A huge thank you. I just dropped my stitch marker. A huge thank you to our Patreon sponsors. We love you guys a lot. Yeah. So Patreon is a way that you can support the podcast by pledging an amount of money every month. And when you do that, you get rewards from us based on the level of your donation. And we are, actually, right now we're currently putting all that money into a savings account in order to purchase some technology stuff that will better the podcast. So we're putting it in the savings account so it can earn interest until we have enough to get the different things that we're wanting to get. So if you are interested in supporting us in that way, you can find out more by going to
patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
And just to let you know that if you're not able to do that, we totally understand, and nothing's going to change on the podcast for you. Everything will stay the same, and yeah, because we appreciate all of you and each of you that watch the podcast every week. You're the reason we do this. If you'd like to support the podcast with a one-time donation, you can go to our website,
geekygirlsknit.com,
and there is a PayPal donate button at the top of the site. Another way to support the podcast is through Amazon, and we are Amazon.com and .co.uk affiliates. And if you go to our website,
geekygirlsknit.com,
and then click through to Amazon from there, anything you purchase will give us a little money back from Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And we use that money to help pay for shipping prizes, which is getting more and more expensive. I just went to the post office this week and mailed 3 parcels and was like, oh my gosh. Especially if we're mailing internationally, it can add up. So this money definitely helps with that. And if we have any extra, we use it to do badges and business cards and things like that, and prizes. Especially if we have, especially after Christmas, when, because so much is purchased in the month or two up to Christmas, we can use that to buy some prizes for things. So, yeah, so if you can help us in that way, that's great. All right, Dammy, I think that's everything. So why don't you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are the links to everywhere else we are online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. So with that, we'll tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Happy knitting. Don't forget to get your winter cowl stuff finished and posted. And y'all are awesome, and we love you guys so much. Happy knitting. Bye.
Bye.
And now it's story time. I'm going to read to you Hector Hectricity and the Missing Socks. Beginning with the beautiful sock image. I'm going to have to read it and then show you the pictures because I can't read it. It's backwards otherwise. The Mohawk family loved calm times, soft songs, and picnics in the park. Their days flowed smoothly with prayers to God and feelings of peace that fit together like the neat pairs of socks they all wore. Peaceful, prayerful, and wearing paired socks, they often enjoyed afternoons outdoors together until they had to move home in a hurry. Things went in and out of boxes, laundry went in and out of the machine, and Mummy went round and round in circles. As they packed, moved, and unpacked, life became loud and hectic. One morning was very hectic for Mummy. I'm sure I saw pairs of Papa's work socks last night, she said, but now I can't find any. On the error, on the radiator, or in the drawer. I think there's a monster in this house who takes socks. I need to know his name so I can tell him to go away and never come back. Do you know his name? She asked Musa. No, Musa said. Why don't you ask God? So Mummy prayed, Oh God, please tell me the name of the monster hiding here so I can tell him to go away and never come back. The next morning was just as hectic. I can't find a pair of socks from Papa, Mummy moaned. I've looked in the dryer, the laundry basket, and the airing cupboard. I really think there's a monster in this house who takes socks. Maybe he eats them. Do you know his name? She asked Khadijah. I apologize if I'm butchering these names. No, I don't, replied Khadijah. Have you asked God? So Mummy prayed to God, Oh God, please tell me the name of the monster hiding here so I can tell him to go away and never come back. The next morning was even more hectic. I'm sure there's a monster in this house, Mummy said. Then almost weeping, she prayed again. Oh God, please tell me the name of the monster hiding here so I can tell him to go away and never come back. Papa was off work for the day. He gave her a hug and said, Why don't you go for a walk? So Mummy walked and walked and walked all the way through the forest and out the other side where she came to a shop. Inside she found a pack of neat new paired socks for each member of the family. She put them into a basket and plodded towards the door to find someone to pay. Perhaps she could look forward to one day paired socks. The cashier smiled at Mummy. Mummy breathed a smile in deeply, and then she said, There's a monster in my house. He takes socks. Do you know his name? The cashier leaned towards Mummy. Yes, I do. I've heard of that monster. His name is Hector Hectricity, she said with a nod. Mummy thanked the cashier, paid for the socks, and ran through the forest. She strode into her house and sang, Hector Hectricity, come out from your hiding place. Get out of my house and never come back. In a whirl and a whiz, Hector Hectricity went out of the house, and the Mohawk family were never bothered by him again. That very afternoon, the Mohawk family calmly put on their new pairs of socks, walked up the hill together, singing prayers softly, and enjoying a peaceful picnic in a glade of the forest. And from that day onwards, their days always flowed smoothly with prayers and peace. Do you see the knitting monster? That is so adorable. The end. And then comes Catherine's sock pattern, and then more socks. We hope you've enjoyed this story time of Hector Hectricity and the Missing Socks. Bye.
Bye.